Hey there. So I want to talk about the best way to get over heartbreak. I've unfortunately had many experiences of heartbreak in my life, and it never gets easier. But my experiences taught me that the best way to get over it is to just go through it. You have to allow yourself to feel what you feel. I'm sure many have heard the best way to get over a relationship, a breakup, a heartache, heartbreak is to get under someone else. That is absolutely the wrong way to go. The wrong way, because that new person is simply a distraction. And that new person is going to compound the hurt, the pain, the damage that's already there if you've never dealt with the initial situation. So whatever amount of time it takes, you have to allow yourself to go through it. I had went to therapy, and I remember my counselor talking to me and telling me that it takes at least a couple years to get over a breakup, a divorce, right? And I remember when I heard those words, my spirit rejected it. I was like, oh no, 2 years? Because to me, that said 2 years being by myself. But what I discovered is that being alone is like when it gives you time to fall in love with yourself. And I'm telling you, it is the absolutely best feeling in the world. It doesn't mean I don't need a man, I don't want a man. It doesn't mean any of that. Because I'm a woman. And I learned my lesson about trying to pray away my desire to be with a man. God had to correct me and say, no, I made you for a man, right? So don't pray that away, but we got to be smart when we're moving out here, right? And like I said, I made a mistake. I messed up, right? With my ex, I messed up. I didn't properly vet him. I allowed his sob story, it's very tragic, sad backstory, to override some logical things I should have been asking and demanding. Not just asking, but demanding. Because when you're dealing with a very manipulative man, deceitful man, one thing they don't like is accountability. They don't like you to ask them questions. They don't like to answer questions. And that's a red flag. And it's something that I definitely saw in my ex that I did not fully vet. I didn't fully test because, again, I was looking at the tragedy of his story and my heart kind of was soft for that. And I went through many years of hell because of it. Because, again, he wasn't an honest man. See, I would have a different outlook if he at least was trying to be honest, but he never was. He was always in it for a come up. He was always in it for what he could gain from it. He was always in it for a selfish reason. It wasn't even about his children either. And that's the sad part about it. It was always about him and what he wanted. But the best way to get over that heartbreak, the realization, all the shattered memories that you have, the pictures you have, and you realize all of it was a lie, right? That's hard. You got to let yourself feel it. Cry when you need to cry. I remember going into a doctor's appointment, and I was having one of those days. And I'm in the doctor's appointment, just tears flowing. And they're asking me questions about my appointment. And I know they're looking at me like, what is wrong with this lady? Tears are flowing because I could not stop the feeling that I was having. I couldn't stop it. And you know what I said? Forget it. I got to let myself feel this. Now, I wasn't snotting and falling out on the floor and none of that dramatic stuff. But I was absolutely, tears were falling because the overwhelm of the emotion and the feelings that I was having was just happening at that particular moment. And I had to allow myself to feel what I was feeling. I knew that this was just a phase that I was going through. I knew that this was just a part of my healing journey. And we have to let ourselves feel what we feel. We have to give ourselves the grace to know that we have feelings, we have emotions, and it is what it is. And that's the best thing that I can tell anyone. Don't suppress how you feel. It's painful, but allow yourself to feel it. There are going to be days that don't want to get up and you don't want to keep going, right? Some days you might have to let yourself just lay there and cry. Some nights you might have to cry yourself to sleep. Some days your anger is going to flare up and you're going to feel like, oh, I just want to break something. You might have to, of course, be cautious with that. Don't just be reckless, but allow yourself to feel. Be ye angry, but sin not, right? You can feel what you feel. Just be mindful to not go over the top with it. But that's how you get over it. Time and just letting your emotions, your feelings flow, especially as a woman, because we feel deeply. Men have feelings too, but women feel on a different level and a different vibration, I think. So as a woman, let yourself feel what you feel. Feel the humiliation and the disappointment and the hurt. Feel all of it. Allow it to process. Don't discount the way you feel. Don't ridicule yourself for the way you feel. Just feel it. Let time progress. Find things that do make you happy. I don't recommend finding another man that makes you happy, right? Especially not in a romantic way, because sometimes that is just a distraction, which is distractions to me equal delay. Distractions equal delay in healing. So if you're getting up under another man or you distracting yourself with friendships and going out all the time and you're not actually dealing with how you feel and letting yourself feel it, you're just delaying the process. Getting up under another man or getting in another relationship when you haven't fully decompressed and dealt with how you felt about the last relationship, the relationship that has broken, is only delaying your healing. And I'm so proud of myself because I allowed myself to go through those healing times. I'm ashamed that of the divorce, right? Because there's shame in these processes. Let yourself feel the shame, the hurt, the pain of that, right? But understand that God is a forgiving God. If you did everything you could do, and that's all I could ask of myself, and all God can ask of me is if you do that and it don't work, then you have nothing to be ashamed of. People let you down because they're men, they're not God. But work on the issues in you, right? Because again, I have issues that I'm working on. And this is not to say that he was all wrong and I was all right, but his approach, I would say, to resolving whatever he wanted to resolve was wrong because he inflicted pain and distress on others with his actions. So, ladies, feel what you feel. Cry, scream, do what you got to do to release it. Sometimes funneling the energy into other things like working out, working on things, right? Sometimes you got to funnel some of those emotions into other things, but don't let other things distract you per se because you still have to go through a healing process. To me, one of the ways that you can gauge your healing is when that person comes back to your mind, when you see that person, when someone mentions that person that hurt you, that you're healing from or whatever, what's your reaction? Is it still angry? Is it still lots of tears being shed? A lot of a flood of emotion? That's how you can gauge your process. When you see them with the other person, are you triggered? Right? That's a gauge of where you are in your healing journey. You're going to feel some kind of way, right? Especially if you've been betrayed. You're going to feel some kind of way. Be okay with that. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel some kind of way. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can live to fight another day. You can look forward to a God ordained relationship, right? That's a coping mechanism that you can employ. Look forward to better days, to better outcomes, to what God truly wants in your life. But don't rush into another situation, hoping that it distracts you enough from healing from what you've been through. Because distraction just means healing will be delayed. And then if the distraction doesn't work out, it's only going to compound the damage that was already there. And then you're going to need even more time because now you've added a layer of damage to the damage that was already there. So now you got two things that need to be healed versus one. So again, the best way to get over heartbreak, disappointment, breakup, whatever we calling it, the best way to get over is to go through it and feel what you feel. Don't discount your feelings. Journal, write down your feelings, right? This is how I feel about this, right? Because you're literally unraveling and unpacking years you've spent with someone and all of the things that you didn't recognize in yourself and in them, all of the things that maybe went over your head that now that you have new information about who this person really is and what they've been doing, now certain things the light bulb will come on. You'll be like, oh, that's what that was. So that's why I say it's a process that you have to allow to unfold and happen. And you have to be intentional about it. And you have to learn to love yourself and learn how to be with yourself during this process. I love my alone time. I love being with me. And that's the beauty of going through heartbreak and disappointment is that you become less dependent on needing someone to help you create joy within, that you could have that natural joy within yourself, even if you're by yourself. And that's what I think should be the ultimate goal. Be the joy in yourself, by yourself, so that you can bring that into other people's lives when the time is right. But learn to be alone. Learn to love yourself by yourself. Allow yourself to go through the emotional roller coaster that is dealing with a breakup and a heartbreak. Allow yourself to go through it. Don't shortcut, don't discount, don't pass go. Just keep walking it out. And as time goes on, the wounds will heal if you're allowing yourself to just go through it. Allow yourself to imagine, what is life going to be like without this person, right? How do I move on? How do I be the best version of myself? Because sometimes we can have that insecurity that's marriage became a security blanket, not a healthy one, but it became a security blanket. So now it's hard for you to imagine being alone. But allow yourself, like I said, to just go through it, give it that time, address the feelings that you have. If you have to go talk to someone, go talk to someone. Pray, ask God to help you accept what you can't change. And the only thing you can't change is somebody else. You can change you. Somebody else you have no control over. Ask God to give you strength to let go, right? Let go what you cannot change, what isn't willing to change, what isn't working in your life, right? Like I said, marriage is sacred, but a lot of people don't look at it as a sacred thing. And so I know for me, it was realizing that I was with someone who did not have the same value system that I have. They pretended to have the same value system as me, but in reality, in walking out their life on a daily basis, they were totally opposite of my value system. They have really no moral compass, right? So when you come to that realization, the best thing I can do moving forward is to be more observant, more discerning about who it is that I'm involving myself with, and recognizing better the red flag when they're only putting up a mask to show you who they are and not genuinely being who they are. One of the parts of my healing journey was seeing the night and day difference between the man that was presenting in front of me versus the man that he really was when he wasn't around me. And it also explained the difficulty I had with his children because they were seeing the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I think it was mentally messing their head up. So when they were coming around me, when they were under the roof with me rather, and he's presenting as something that they know he's not, I really feel bad for his children because they had to witness the bipolar behavior of their parent. And they had to pretend that it was normal and it wasn't. So, like I said, give yourself grace and space to deal with the unpacking and unraveling of a relationship that has gone wrong, that has gone by the wayside. Give yourself space and time to unpack and unravel what that actually means because it touch different parts of your life and how to move forward, right? But the best way to get over it is to hurry up and feel it. Allow yourself to go through it. Sometimes finding other places where you can fuel the emotion and push those emotions into that, but also balancing that with not getting distracted to the point where you're actually not dealing with how you feel because distractions only delay your healing. And if you're delaying your healing, it just means it's going to take longer. You may end up in other situations that are going to compound the emotions and the feelings that you have. So don't do it. Go through it. Like I said, I've been out there many days with tears streaming down my face because my reality had to shift. And I was literally going through mourning. This is what people have to realize is that when you're going through a breakup, a heartbreak, a divorce, you are mourning what was. It's a literal death. You're mourning what was. You're mourning even what you thought it could be, the potential. But you're in mourning either way. Allow yourself to go through your mourning phase. Feel it, go through it, journal if you need to, talk to someone if you need to. Do whatever you got to do to go through those emotions and process so that you can be cleansed and you can be whole for the next part of your life, right? Especially if you anticipate being open to another relationship, being open to marriage again, right? You have to cleanse yourself of that prior situation. Allow yourself to be free of that. Allow yourself to be free. Cleanse yourself. You cannot make someone be what they don't want to be. If they don't want to be honest, you can't make them be honest. If they don't want to be transparent, you can't make them be transparent. The only person you can control is you. You can control your reaction. You can control your healing, but you can't control another person. So you're going to have to not make your healing contingent on anyone else but you. One of the things that frustrated me with my ex was his continual dishonesty. And I would say to this person, like, look, you don't have to keep lying. You don't have to spare my feelings. My feelings don't matter at this point. I was trying to tell him that to give him some relief so he could let go of the lies. Again, you can't control another person. You can only control yourself. So let yourself feel, go through it, give yourself time. Don't rush to be up under somebody else or with somebody else because that only serves as a distraction, which delays your healing. And you're going to take your compounded problems into another relationship and create more chaos for your life. So don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Feel it, go through it, and just let it be what it is so that you can get through it. Right? So that's all I have to say on that.